Okay.
What's up, man?
I can't see y'all.
We
Hold
here,
on.
baby.
All right.
Okay.
All right. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're tuned in to another edition of the Sports Shop 27. Sorry about the technical difficulties. My camera just went blank. But
It's all good.
hey, welcome to this edition of the Sports Shop 27. I got my host here today, Kevin Johnson, KJ, and in the middle, today's special
Right.
guest, former University of South Carolina Gamecock
Yeah.
and former
Yeah, yeah.
Dallas Cowboy defensive back,
Right, right.
All right,
Jonathan
man.
Martin.
What's up?
going
What's
Jonathan
up?
on,
What's
Martin,
up?
what's
man?
up?
What's happening, my
What's up,
people?
man?
Thank
So
you for
glad to
Not
have
having me.
much, man. Hey, we happy to have you on the
Thank
show,
you.
man. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Um, hey, for the people that
Yeah,
don't know where
it
you
happens.
from, yep, let them know where you from and a little bit about your background.
All right, I'm from the one and only Columbia, South Carolina, also known as the Met. Grew up playing football. Yeah, he know KJ know about it. Grew up playing football, a little bit of baseball. Football was natural to me, so I excelled at it. Went on to Richard Northeast High School, off of Brookfield, off of Decker, northeast side of town. Did my thing over there. I think I amassed over 5,000 yards in rushing. Had about
Wow.
50 touchdowns. Did that in 3 years. So senior year came out one of the top backs in the state. The picture that you saw, the four guys, we were top. I believe we were all like top 10 running backs. Came in the same year. And Antoine Neesmith, Jamie Scott, Nate Gary, and myself. We tore it up that year, and we decided to join the Gamecocks as running backs. I actually got signed on as a fullback. Neesmith and I played fullback. Nate and Jamie were the tailbacks. We came in the summer. We worked all summer, did our thing, and I got hurt in camp. Neesmith didn't. He did his thing that year. We went 1-10. The next year, they brought in more running backs, and I got moved to defense eventually. I got hurt. Then I got moved to defense. Blah, 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 blah. Ended up senior year having to lead the team in tackles. I think I was like third in the SEC that year behind Hamler. I can't remember the other guy, but I had a pretty, I guess I would say, a somewhat illustrious career in Carolina
Okay,
as a
so
Spurs safety. So yeah, I
let's
got
back it up.
moved.
Let's back it up a
All right,
little
back it
bit.
up.
Then we
Let's
we
go.
gonna we gonna we gonna start from the beginning. So for the people that
Okay.
don't know, you from the Northeast area with the Richard Northeast High
Right.
School, and you
Right.
started playing football at what age?
Talking like backyard football, or we talking
I
like
mean, like
organized football?
you could say organized football. Everybody play a little.
Organized
Yeah.
football,
Yeah.
second grade. I was 7 years old, and my first position was right guard, number 62. Ooh, I hated that. I hated every minute of that. But I was just a young jit. There was guys on the team that were 19 years old, bigger than me, probably faster at that time.
Mhm.
So they put me in the line, wouldn't let me play defense, but I did good. I played hard, and I was pretty fast then too. So um, I was out there at Polo Road. Everybody, if you're from Columbia, you know about Polo Road.
Word. Yep.
So,
So go ahead,
hey,
KJ.
yeah. I know. When I was younger, Michael Jordan was my favorite player, man. Did you have one?
Oh, Bo Jackson. First it was Walter, but then I saw Bo, man. When Bo came in, it was it. Like, I don't know a kid during that, or aspiring running back at that time that had anybody else other than Bo, at least in their top five. Of course, you had Barry, you had Emmett.
Yeah.
Both before those guys, I remember the TV show or the cartoon he had. I remember the shoes he had. And when I found out he wasn't gonna play football no more, I about cried, man. Oh no, yep, oh no, Bo don't know diddly. Yeah, I remember that commercial. So
Yeah,
that was my
those
guy.
were good commercials, man.
Yes, they were, man.
Yeah.
I actually met Bo Jackson in the airport about 2 years ago before COVID, and I almost dropped my draw. I don't get starstruck, but when I figured out who it was, because I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? Dude is still huge. He's solid. His hands are thick. I dapped him up. I'm working at the airport. He walks up to my kiosk. I'm on the phone, and I look like Bo Jackson, but I can't be him. So I had to check the hand, because he got the little vertigo or whatever on his hand. I looked at the hand. I looked at him, and I was about to say it. He said, shh. And he didn't want nobody to know who it was. He had his hat low. He was incognito. Okay. But I knew who it was, man.
Okay.
But yeah, Bo Jackson.
That's what's up, man. So you play offensive line as a kid at first. You was kind of heartbroken about that. So
right.
What motivates you to the next year you got on the team to go switch positions?
Well, I think they knew I was going to be a good athlete, and once the older kids left, they were like, "Man, he's the guy." So I played running back, and I played like Mike linebacker. Pretty much when Aaron Lucas played, I played the opposite of him. Aaron Lucas, not many people know, but he was a phenomenal football player back in Polo. Me and him, they messed around, put me and him on the same team. Everybody had a problem with that. I don't know how they figured that out, but we were like, I don't know, Kobe and LeBron were on the same team. That's what we would have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it would have been. That's what it was like for those kids.
All right.
But so next year they put me in running back, and the athleticism and the natural everything just came together, and I started doing what I do.
What's up, man? Hey, so going into high school, did you play right away?
Yes. Well, freshman year, it was me and another guy, Mike Burrell. We were only guys selected to come to varsity camp as freshmen. And they kept me up on the varsity squad. Like, I did a few preseason games. I don't think I got any carries, but I know I didn't go down to B squad until they had their first game. So, I kind of knew when coaches are doing stuff like that, they're just recruiting you for the future, because they're just trying to let you know, back then I probably could have played varsity, but back then it was, they were a lot more careful about how they approached it. You know what I mean? And I probably wasn't physically ready for varsity. Mentally, I might have been, but physically, I was not there.
Yeah. Big boys.
Right.
So you get on the varsity a little bit, and you get to practice with them. Your sophomore year, tell us what happened.
Sophomore year, I started at corner. So my brother, Marion Martin, smartest guy anybody in my family knows. He's a professor at Raleigh, North Carolina State. He was a cornerback. In 1993, they won a state championship, or 94, they won a state championship. And he had 2 picks in that game to seal that game against Hartsville. A lot of people don't know, but Hartsville used to be the team to beat back in the day. Right. And it was a shocker, and it's been Richard Northeast's only state championship ever. But he had a big part in that. So he's starting on the left corner, and I ended up starting on right corner. And I also played running back. I was like, backup running back. We had Cayenne Jones and Skeet, a guy named Skeeter. They were seniors. At some point, Skeet, something happened. He left the team. Cayenne, he started getting hurt, and then I started getting more time. And like the last end of the season, I was starting both ways. And So I was getting a lot of burn my sophomore year, man. On both ends, I ended up with like 800 yards rushing in like 4 or 5 games. I think I had maybe 5 picks. I don't know how many tackles I had, but I think I had like five or six picks.
Picks. Hey, okay.
I can't remember. Maybe it might be. I might be lying. I know I had at least 2 or 3. I know I can't remember all the games, but let me back up. Yeah, I didn't have 5. I know I had like 3. Stratford and like 2 other games I had a pick. Played against some good players. Spartanburg, man, they had I think Brian Wofford, receiver. You played with you played with him. He had me burnt one play, man. The quarterback threw a duck, and luckily I ran down, and I knocked it down. But that guy was a good athlete. I remember playing against him, Jackie Robinson, J.J. McKelvey played against him. So yeah, I got to cover some pretty good receivers back in the day. Willis Ham, right in Spring Valley.
Shout out to Willis Ham related, bro. Said Big L220 said baby brother name still ringing bells in this day.
That's my big brother Lionel, man. We call him Lenny. He's that's my other.
Ezel Betha. I ain't gonna cut you off, my brother.
No, you good.
The best back I've seen. 40 carries, 300 yards, 5 TDs, 1 game. What?
That's my dog right
That's
there.
why I had to. Tell us about that. Tell us about that game right there. I want to know about that game.
That's Spring Valley, my senior year, man. I just it kind of bottled me up. My sophomore year, I don't think I started that game. I didn't do too well. I don't remember playing that much. Actually, I think I had like an injury, a hamstring. So I didn't end up playing that much in that game. Junior year, I had maybe 150, but no touchdowns. So I said, senior year, man, I gotta give it to him. Rico Jackson was over there doing too good, and I'm like, he had himself a 300-yard game. I said, all right, he had it against Camden. I said, okay, let me get my 300-yard game against y'all boys. But it was a fun game to watch, man. If you were in those stands, you put on a show. Willis Ham had like 10 catches for 250 yards. Gerald Robinson, rest in peace. He might have had 15 tackles. He had the hit. That would have been a ESPN top 10 hit. It's definitely illegal what he did to that boy. That'd be a flag today. But Gerald Robinson, the linebacker, he was going to sign. He signed to Carolina initially, but couldn't get in with grades. But he probably was one of the best athletes I've ever seen in my life, hands down.
Yep.
But I just had to go off. I don't know, man. It was just something about that game, like everybody knows. You know what I mean? It's just one of those games.
Yeah.
A lot of people had stupid numbers in that game. Their linebacker had like 25 tackles, mostly on me, because I had like 40 carries. I literally had 40 carries that game.
All right.
Unheard of.
Hey, so did you play any other sports in high school? Besides football?
I ran track. Freshman year I played baseball, and I realized I was kind of wasting time. I need back there on the track working on my speed. So from then on, I played. I ran track. I wasn't good, but I was just out there trying to stay in shape and work on my form.
Yeah, for real.
Yes, sir. Staying busy. Corey Head was our coach. Oh yeah, keep him out of trouble, man. You ain't got to worry. That's one thing my parents never had to worry about me getting in no trouble. So I used to fish. I know you see this nice little tan I got. That's from fishing, man. The farmer. I need to take my shirt off. So anytime either one of you guys think y'all want to go out there and catch some fish, we can do that too.
You can do it.
All right.
Hey, so Chris King said, ask John the time he hit Woodrow Dampson on the goal line at Harry P. Stadium.
Man. Yeah. No, I caught him. I caught Woody. It was like it was important. They still won that game, but it was I think they were going for 2. and I was playing safety, and he was trying to get to the pylon, and I met him right there, and I knocked him back. And back then, Woody was, he was strong, man. Like you ain't no knocking Woody back. So I caught him, and I ain't gonna say he went back, but he definitely went side. He ain't go forward. He went sideways. But it was hard to get a look. If you played against Woody in high school, it was hard to get a solid lick on that dude, man. I just got lucky. I think the corner made the receiver do something, and I just happened to time it up at the right time. I caught him good.
Craig King say hit heard around South Carolina. Brandon Kelly say my little big bro.
I don't know about that, man.
You were my lineman in Pee Wee.
Oh, man, that's my dude.
I was up in fullback in high school. And then Craig King said he did more than caught.
That's my cousin Craig. So, Craig, he beat cancer. He actually, my cousin Craig King, a lot of people know him.
Congratulations, Craig.
As an educator. Yeah. Big ups to him. He's writing books. He's impacting, he's impacting children. He's impacting our future. And Craig went through some things. So when Craig was going through what he was going through, I was going through my ACL with surgery, and he doesn't even know it, but he motivated me because I couldn't take a day off knowing what he was going through. I'm like, Craig's what he's going through is life threatening. I've just got a knee injury. There's no excuse for me to not go in here and do what I need to do to get back on the field. So watching him go through that, it helped me just to keep going, because you have days when you don't want to go. You want to just kind of sulk and be depressed, but that's the day you need to get up and keep going. You know what I mean? So shout out to him for real.
Right, shout out. He said appreciate you, big cuz.
You know it, man. Appreciate him. I appreciate him. We all do.
You know it. Yeah. Hey, that's wonderful.
Yes, sir.
So talk about going to the Shrine Bowl. Did you play in the Shrine Bowl?
I did not. I was heartbroken.
What?
Because I knew I was gonna get in there. I just knew it. But they chose. But the guys, we were stacked that year, man. The guys they chose, were all good guys. I think it chose a guy from Spartanburg. I think it was Rodney. I can't remember his last name. I think his name was Rodney. Then you had Antoine Neesmith, who had, I think, 3,000 yards rushing that year. Jamie Scott had about 2,000 yards. Yeah, Walter Burrow. Jamie Scott had about 2,000 yards that year. So I think they took 4 guys. The guys they took, I mean, you can't be like, oh, no, how do you choose him over J-Mart?
Yeah.
We were just stacked. And luckily, my coaches, they put me into the North-South consideration too. So I got to have that experience, because some guys' coaches just put them in for the Shrine Bowl. And so when the North-South came around and you didn't make the Shrine Bowl, you didn't make, the North-South game either. So, man, the North-South was, from what I hear and what I know, a lot of people say, it's a lot more fun because we're at the beach. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Quincy Wicker, Travis McFadden, Pacheco Nathan, JJ was there. JJ is a crazy dude, man. Eric Henry, Joe Call. Man, that was a stacked little team right there, man.
Somerville.
And we won the game. I think Joe got the player of the game, I believe. But we had fun that whole week. It was awesome. It was dope.
Okay. So Brian Thomas said it's dudes like Jay that got my son in love with football, Jonathan and Aries Curry.
That's my buddy, right? That's my dog right there, man.
Yep.
Yeah, his son is a senior at I'm about to say South Point, Westwood, and I'm looking forward to watching them play this year. They finally gonna let him play some stand-up DN. I want to see what he's gonna do coming up that edge. Let's go, bro.
Cool.
So what other schools chose you, and why you chose USC? Gamecock.
I got my first letter from USC the end of my freshman, or the beginning of my second semester freshman year. I got a letter from USC. So they were there. They put their first kind of bid in. They didn't offer me then, but they just sent a letter, handwritten letter from Brad Scott. And then I started going to games through my sophomore year. I used to go in there and get gear, man. I had all the gloves, I had towels. I would get a bunch of them, bring them back to the team. I keep my shit, and I give as much as I can out. Man, I was living a life back then. So they got on me first. Junior, senior year, Tennessee, of course, Clemson, Tennessee, Georgia Tech. I was in real heavy with Georgia Tech. They took Joe Burns and they left me alone. Virginia, that's when they had Tiki Barber, Tiki and Rondé, but Tiki was a man back then. East Carolina, I think they had not Hardy. I think Hardy was the running back then. He was nasty. He ran through Carolina one year. And then North Carolina State, my boy Raymond. Raymond ended up going there. He balled out. He did good there. Notre Dame, they came in my senior year, wanted me to play DB. I believe that's about it.
What about Clemson, man? Clemson didn't offer you?
Yeah, they offered me. Man, they offered me, and then signed. And I didn't hear from them. I didn't go to their visit. I went to Carolina. I committed, and I didn't take their visit. So they kind of laid off of me. Rick Bisaccia, he called me like the morning of signing day, trying to flip me. I'm like, man, I ain't even talked to you, coach. So deuces. You know what I mean? But I'm sure. I don't know, man. I don't know if I would have played up there at Clemson. Y'all had some ballers up there too, man.
Yeah,
James Austin. James was booming back in the day, man. Keith Kelly. Come on, man. They had some studs up there. Yeah, Diamond. I bet Diamond was the Diamond Anderson. Diamond, you remember him? Yeah, he was there too. They were loaded back in the day, bro. I don't know.
So, Jalen Butler said, "What was your biggest motivation?"
Got my battery's about to go out. Let me go back inside. It may get loud, but my biggest motivation.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I just loved football. I loved, I loved that I was good at it.
What's up, Jalen?
I loved that it was a challenge sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
all right. Can you see me still? Sorry.
Yep.
But what kept me motivated was just my love for the sport and my love for competition. And you put those two together with anything in life, man, and I think you're gonna be pretty good at whatever that thing may be. Talent does help, but having a love, that's what keeps you motivated. I didn't come up rough, so I didn't necessarily want to put my mama in a house or nothing like that. I just love playing football, man, from the day I started, really.
Word. So talk about getting into the Gamecocks, playing at USC. Who were some of the guys that took you under their wing?
Oh man, probably the wrong guy, maybe Troy Hambrick, but Troy was.
Who ended up being teammates with you at Dallas.
Yeah. Same. He didn't change. But Troy, he was a very outspoken person, and they say his brother was 10 times worse, but he was a very outspoken person. So I learned from him. Sometimes you got to speak your mind. Boo Williams, he was the guy that kind of trash talking, but also, hey man, read this guy, read that guy. Wright Jordan, Anthony Wright, those Zola Davis, those are some of the guys that not necessarily took you in, but they looked after you and they taught you ins and outs, how to move around, how to navigate, being a student athlete, and then but I had a bunch of buddies, good buddies there too, that we kept each other in line. Cedric Williams, Frankie McCullough, Antoine, Nate, Jamie, can't name everybody, Brewer, D. White, Travell, Faison. Faison been voted one of Shah Faison been one of the top DBs in South Carolina, man. I think he was just he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
But those are some of the guys. Sheldon Brown.
So I was gonna say Sheldon Brown. Talk about playing with those two in the secondary because I think y'all on the field at the same time.
Yeah. So my sophomore and junior year redshirt, um, I was in we were like a 3-man rotation. Willie Alford and Rashad were the starters, and I would kind of rotate in and out with them. You know what I'm saying? I would kind of rotate in and out with them. Uh, every other series. So yeah, at times I'd be on the field with Rashad, Willie, Rashad or Willie. Yeah, Sheldon was always out there on the right corner, and then you had Andre Goodman on the left corner. We talking 9, 10 year vets in the NFL. Um, and right behind him was a guy barking up their tree, Kevin House. A lot of people don't know about Kevin House, but he had like a 3, 4 year career in the league as well. He didn't have much tape to show. His dad played. Kevin Senior played at Tampa Bay, but he was just a guy that earned his shot. He played for a couple of years, so he was DeAndre Allen, playing in the league for a little while. He played in that secondary, so he was very, very talented, well coached secondary. John Gutekunst was corners and safeties, and we had Dave Robertson, probably one of the smartest coaches you don't know of.
Wow, cool. So, so Lou Holtz was your coach. Can you talk about that era right there? I know you went there. Gamecocks had their name on the back of their jerseys. When you got there, they took them off. Y'all went to Adidas. Willis talked about that on the previous episode. So elaborate on that environment, that culture with Lou Holtz.
Some people didn't like it, man.
A lot of people didn't like him, but I guarantee a lot of people apply his principles. Respect him and apply his principles, to their life and to their coach. Their coaches, they apply it to their team. He had this card, with the principles, all the principles that we were going to need to turn around the program. I wish I still had that card, but I'm sure somebody in the chat watching, they'll talk about it too. And a lot of people still had this card, but if you just apply this card to your life, to your coaching career, whatever it is, things will work out for you. So Lou, he was a lot of people. He was a feisty man. I just say that he was a very feisty fella, would not bite his tongue. And the first thing he knew he needed to do was to get Troy Everett out of there because they were like the same personality. They did not bite their tongue for anybody. And Lou was gonna do some things, say some things that's gonna ruffle your feathers, and he pretty much just trying to see what you're made of, But this is the time when the time started to change, where you can't just say what you want to a player just because you coach. So that was probably the last generation, because I think at the same time around, Spreewell got into it with Buddy Carlissimo. I think that's about the same time. So I think about it. Y'all ain't never thought about that, but that's about the time when coaches, players start saying, "All right, man, hold up, now you done MF me 10 too many times, coach." Coming at my word, and the guys started teeing off with the coaches, literally. So I think because Lou had been gone like 3-4 years, I think out of coaching. So the culture probably changed for a little bit, because the Lou that I had 2 years later, it's a totally different Lou. Totally different, man. So, and I think, that's probably why the program went the way it did, because I guess maybe he couldn't adjust to the change in the tide. You just couldn't tell, kids, that's when, like I said, that's when people started getting a little bit, smarter and say, I'm not going to just run through a brick wall just because you say so. You know what I mean? As a coach now, you have to find different ways to motivate your kids. It can't be yell at them every time they do something wrong. You also have to motivate them with gifts or prizes. Because I guess it's a prize orientated type of generation. They and then they're not necessarily money, but they like prices. They like prices for showing the work, pretty much. And that's just you can yell at it and argue with it all day, but that is just where we are as a culture now. You know what I'm saying? So as a coach, good coaches, they evolve with the culture. And that's probably why Bobby Bowden did the last notice he did at one place. Same thing with Joe Paterno. Nowadays, um, I'm trying to think of a guy that's long tenure. I mean, Stoops, he was at Oklahoma forever. So those are the guys that learn how to change the tide. That's what you got to do a TikTok.
Right.
You gotta go viral. You gotta do a little TikTok dance or something. I don't know, man. So the kids
Yeah,
like that.
man.
They like it.
They do. Yep. So go ahead, KJ.
Yeah. What I was about to say is, I mean, I know you played safety in the college level. Did you miss being on the offensive side, playing offense in high
So
school?
there are times when I'm like, man, what if I just would have stuck it out and running back? What if I would have transferred to South Carolina State and played running back? Running back is my natural position. I had to learn how to play safety. I was a good athlete. Luckily, I'm a good athlete. Safety in high school and safety in what I was playing in college is two different things. You know what I mean? It's two different things. So, um, you know what I mean? Like I said, I was athletic enough to make the change and be good at it. But
Yeah.
when I got the ball in my hands, it's a totally different world. It was always easy to me. That didn't mean I worked hard. I was great, but getting 5 yards was just easy. Seemed so easy. You know what I mean? Making the first guy miss was just so easy. Man, I had a very explosive first step. I wasn't a 4.3 guy. I was maybe 4.5. I did run a 4.47 in the
Football speed.
combine. Yeah, football speed, football quickness. All you need
Yeah.
is quickness in like a small area. And as the
Yeah,
game
man.
goes along, that 5, 6, 7 yards DB start you know, getting out of the way. Start that dead leg you did in the first half. Now you can do it the other way. The DB going that way. So um,
Yeah.
running back was just something natural to me, and I never really had anybody that grew me. It was just always just me figuring things out on my own. I didn't have coaches. I didn't have the trainer they had today with the footwork and stuff like that. They had that back then. Um, and there was definitely no trainers, taking you under the wing and teaching you how to, run different schemes, different zones, and all that. I just figured it out on my own pretty much. And a lot of guys, not really anybody had anybody to groom them back then. Um, I just had coaches calling plays because they then there was a guy that knew my style and coach knew my style and knew how to, he called Mary Mizell. He knew the plays to call. You know, I can't say he groomed me, but he knew what plays I was good at. He knew what the defense was doing. He always, you know, put us in. And I had a very huge offensive line. My offensive line was probably the biggest in the state. It was bigger than Clemson and Carolina. Now, I ain't gonna say they was all, you know, 300. Some of them were like 250, but we had a couple of guys. We had at least three guys that were 300 pounds. And so I was running around a huge line too. Don't. It wasn't all me. Not even close. Um, but yeah, parts of me thinks about what if I would have stuck it out. And I'm pretty sure, I'm confident I could have made it into the league as a running back. If I would have gone to state with Buddy, I think I would have had 1,000 yards a year, easy. I
You
would
got at
have
least about 30 touches a game,
Yeah, yeah. I would.
Real.
That's one thing you wouldn't go outwork me in that football field or that weight room. I wouldn't go. I love football that much that I wasn't going to allow my laziness to, you know, make me miss a good opportunity.
Yep. KJ had to make the same transition from running back or receiver to cornerback.
You know.
Yep. So I mean, it's kind of different. You got to run backwards full speed, guard the man behind you. You used to running away from somebody, so
Right.
that's a big skill set you got to have in order to do that. So talk about some of the players to help you develop into a corner.
Rashad faced. Well, actually, it was a safety. It was like a nickel position. But watching Rashad and watching Willie, watching how they operate, watching them, I just try to feed off of them. First, I was trying to, maybe I stole a little move or two, but then I started to work on what can make me set myself apart from what they do. And so I just started becoming a solid tackler. I just worked on my tackling. Um, I tackled D. Watt on his own, out in open. That was hard to do back then. Um, Freddie Millens, I remember getting him down one time. I met Travis Henry in the hole one time. I didn't knock him back. He knocked me back. It was more like a stalemate, but y'all remember Travis Henry, Tennessee. I was a very solid tackler. I was a wild tackler my sophomore year. They used to get mad at me. I'm one of the guys that's coming in hitting everybody. So they used to yell at me my sophomore year. So that motivated me to, all right, let me come up with let me work on my footwork and get better control of my body. So my junior and senior, I started getting really good at tackling and having solo tackles, taking a guy down by myself. First of all, I'll try to be the first guy there. Once I get there, you going down. I just had this determination that you're not getting away from me. I think Ernest Graham was the only guy that legit broke my tackle. He still farmed me, man, like I was a little kid. Ernest Graham, he played at Florida. Coming off the edge, I think I got him, and he just took his hand, put it on the side of my neck, and just threw me down on the ground, man. It's the only guy that legit ran through me. But he was Ernest Graham. He was he was not class of '98. Him and Joe Gillespie came in the same year. I think he ended on a red shirt. So he ended up red shirt and Joe didn't. But they were both top running backs in their state. So I think Ernest was Florida, Joe was Mississippi.
Cool. So talk about how it was coming out on the field with that 2001.
Man,
every game.
I was the first guy out every time. You hear me?
For real?
First dude out every time, man. I was me and Rashad. Well, for a while, me and Rashad being in the front, but he started getting in the back like later on. I guess he was too cool, but every chance I could, I was at the front. I was getting rowdy, and I was one of the first ones trying to run through there. Because I knew we had to get ready for the kickoff or kickoff return. I'm a special player too, so I had to get for him anyway. So why not just run out here and be the first one out? You know what I mean? Getting everybody hyped. So it's you really can't describe it, man. It's one of the best coming out of all college football. Even as a recruit, man, it just chills in your spine when you first hear that thing hit, that little beat drop. Man, it's a great feeling. One of the greatest feelings I've ever experienced. I've been able to experience in my life.
Mm-hmm.
At the safety spot, who was the hardest quarterback and wide receiver you had to face?
Rex Grossman. And all three, we had Taylor Jacobs, Richey Caldwell, and Jabbar Gaffney. Yeah, easy. They ran it up on us, man. They ran it up, especially my junior year. We the crowd blacked out. We didn't, because every time we blacked out, we got blacked out. So the crowd blacked out, and I don't know what Luke said something. I think Luke said something to get Spurrier going that week. I can't remember what it was. I don't know if he said something to get him going, or Spurrier just wanted to be, a butthead. But he was literally throwing with his first team, fourth quarter, and still throwing. They're up by like 30, 40 points. I think we scored like 17, 48, 17, 56, 17. I can't remember, but they ran it up. Jabbar is the only guy that I saw he's the only receiver I've seen can make anybody look silly, man. He was just so good in college. And Rex would put it Anywhere Rex would put it, Joe, Jabbar would go get it. Then you had Riche. Then you had Taylor Jacobs. So you couldn't double anybody. So all three of them guys always had one-on-ones. They had field days with us.
Okay, cool. So talk about the bowl games that you guys participated in. How many bowl games did you play in?
Played in two. So I played in the Outback, the back-to-back Outback Bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
2001. 2000 was the season. 2001 and then 2002. Both games versus Ohio State. The first year, they had a coaching change after that year. Matter of fact, I think the way we beat them, they fired that coach. I can't remember the name right now, but they had a pretty good team. They were bigger than us, and you could just see though they didn't respect us. We were smaller, but we were fast, and we had a train. Our strength coach was. I'll drop his name right now.
Charlie.
Our strength coach. No, not Charlie Strong was our defensive coordinator. Coach had us. He came from Illinois. He coached at Illinois. Played in Illinois. He played at Florida. Coached at Illinois. So he knew the style of football that Lou wanted us to kind of be in shape for. Fast, but strong. So we had Coach Tripp. He had us in shape. When Coach came in, he had us in shape as well, but he had us lifting heavy. So we got bigger and we got stronger. So even if we were small, Pmo. So Coach Pmo got us strong. So we were already fast, we were already light. Pmo got us strong. He had a squat 400. Yeah, some guy Rashad was the 400 guy. He benched 400 and he squatted 400. A lot of people don't know that. Rashad was a very strong dude. But we had more linemen lifting over 350, 400 pounds with Pat Moore. And so just because you're big, it didn't intimidate us. We played in the SEC, guys. We played against Florida, was big and fast. Played against Tennessee, big and fast. Played against Mississippi State, was big and fast. Arkansas, big and fast. So we see it all year. So we didn't really get the disrespect. We kind of did because it's Ohio State. This is when Michigan and Ohio State's in the top 10 every year. The SEC really ain't popping yet. You got Florida kind of doing their thing. Tennessee was kind of doing their thing, but it was like one or two schools. It ain't like it is now. It wasn't like it was now. Like it is
At
now.
that time, Florida and Tennessee was winning the SEC championship and winning the national championship. Maybe LSU a little bit,
But yeah, LSU they didn't really get off until
mid 2000s.
Until Saban got there. I think they won their first title in 03. So
I think it was 05.
05?
Somewhere around there.
It wasn't 03, right? Ohio State.
Because the Miami Hurricanes had they run too.
Right. Miami and then Ohio State. So the crazy thing about the Outback Bowls is the year after our second Outback Bowl, Ohio State's playing in the national championship. The new coach, Maurice Claret. I think Chris Gamble. Remember Gamble? Chris
Gamble. Yep.
I think he was playing receiver at DB then. So I don't know what changes they did, but they got it going that next year and they won the national championship. But back to the first Outback Bowl, they didn't respect us, and Brewer really took it personal because Ohio State. He's Mr. Football of Ohio State. Yeah. I'm playing golf with him. When I'm playing golf with him, and I just started asking him what was his stats like, and the dude was putting up video game numbers, right? But they didn't even recruit him. Didn't even give him a letter. I don't think he got a letter. He might have got letters, but I don't think they ever offered him. And so he took it personal. And every chance he could that game, man, he went off on them boys, and he carried us. And defense played, but we played off his energy, man. We were so hyped to see him getting off that we just wanted to go out there and just obliterate him. Man, I think that game was 24-7, but Like it was just total domination. There's nothing they did that scared us that day. There's nothing that they did that worried us. So that was the first year. Second year, they were ready, and that was a game that came down to a field goal. Ryan Weaver, he had like maybe 3 feet to spare. The last seconds of that game, won that game for us. So um, Tampa, Tampa was always fun. I think one year, I think the first year it was cold. Um, maybe it was the second year. We came back, it was snowing one year, and it was cold down there. But Tampa's a good, fun place. I lived there back in 2007, 2008. Great town, fun place to be. Outback Bowl was first class, world class. We ate good every night. Please believe it. And they took good care of us. So we had some great moments as a team as well too. I tell you what lit Brewer up. We watched Gladiator the night before that game, and then me and him, our handshake is strength and honor. We sit by each other that night watching it, and we were just hyped. Man, he had this look in his eye, and then we created strength and honor. Off of that, that was a handshake back then. So or in that movie, so we still do that to this day. But man, he went at that lit a fire in him, and he went off on the board that next day. Man, shout out to him.
Yep, yep. Shout out to Corey Brewer, Ryan Brewer. Talk about going into the NFL. Getting the combine ready, about to either get drafted or free agent. Talk about that process and your mind state, what you were going through then.
Right. So in my training, I wasn't like a top prospect, so I didn't go out and get an agent. I didn't go out and hire an agent to send me somewhere and do all that stuff. I didn't have the money to, so I signed with them, but I didn't. They didn't give me any money because they know I wasn't gonna be. They'd probably be a free agent anyway, so it worked out. But I worked out with the guy there, with their trainer, and I didn't feel like I was getting what I needed. And so in the middle of the training, I caught mono. That's the thing that happened. I caught mono, and that put me down for like a week, and I lost about 5-10 pounds, which probably helped. And then I got with the track guy, and I started working with a guy named Sylvanus. Helper. He was working for Carolina back then, but he had been telling me, "You need to come train with me. You need to come train with me." So finally, when I got back from being sick, I started training with him, and he helped me get that time down to a 4.47. So let's fast forward to draft day. I've talked to Chicago, and I talked to maybe 2 other teams. I didn't talk to a lot of people. I talked to Chicago, I think Denver, and maybe Carolina. So they were all like late round draft pick, if that, if not free agent. So Chicago probably calls me maybe Thursday or Friday. I think I talked to them. Sunday is the draft. That back then is one day. They called me, I believe, Friday. Fast forward to Saturday. I think it was 2 days back then. Saturday and Sunday. Saturday, let's see, everybody get drafted. Then the next day, I'm in church, and I think the draft ended while I was in church, and so I went to my agent, and so we're sitting there waiting on Chicago to call, but they said they were going to take a safety. They took a guy out of Florida, Todd. I can't remember his last name. He was a baller. I think he was like 4th or 5th in tackles that year. But anyway, Chicago is not calling because they took him, basically. And then, so we're sitting there, and they're like, well, you got an hour to figure out what we're going to do. After this hour, you're going to have to you have to go in and do another workout. So, but if somebody calls you this hour within this time frame, you take that because you get to go to training camp. So Cowboys came out of nowhere, and they gave me my free agency shot. So like they called me before that time frame. I think it was like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and they called me before that time frame, and so I took it, and it was like $2,000, $2,500. It was more money, that that's like the second most money I'd ever had at one point in time. So I kept taking it. So they gave me my shot, and me and Sean Smith. A lot of people know Big Buddy, called Big Buddy back then. Sean Smith. They brought us in together. Sean, he didn't do much in Carolina, but when he got to Dallas, he saw the lights and he started working out. Dude got strong. He ends up having a 10-year career in the league. A lot of people know him from getting in the fight with Brady. Brady from I can't remember his last name, from Notre Dame or whatever. But he ends up getting in a fight with that guy. Like the dude, he's a funny guy, and I love him, man. But yeah,
Marco Hutchinson on said Big Buddy Rope. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. So I come in that camp with Jason Witten, Terrence Newman, Roma was in that class. I came up with them guys. Yep. Brady James was third round pick. Terrence was their first round pick. Roma was, I think he was sixth round maybe, or a free agent. I think I can't remember what Rick. I think Wick was third or second or third. I can't remember.
Okay. Yeah.
So
that's how Brian Elam say DBU.
DBU.
Yeah.
Right. So
Marco said Quinn.
Right.
Brady Quinn from Notre Dame.
Yeah. Elam, man. Elam was another guy that probably isn't happy with how things were down in Carolina with him and because of his relationship with Luke. But Elam, man, I know Dante Robinson.
Yeah.
You should have known Elam too. Elam, he did a great job as a special team player. He's athletic. He could run all day, and he was smart. And it didn't go his way there. So it is what it is. But so in Dallas. I think and I'm never Roy. There was there. And I'm with them guys. And I'm watching them guys play. And I'm working hard. I'm making tackles in practice. I'm running up on linemen. Yeah, what's like, hey, man, you can't be running up on these linemen in the league. You're not going to have a long career. I'm like, man, this with the way that Dave Roberts trained us, that stuff was like second nature. I didn't think about running up on the line. Cedric Williams will tell you that. I didn't think twice about running up on the line. Just the mentality that I had. Just throw my body around. And I know how to protect myself somewhat. But I really felt like I had a really good camp. And I played as hard as I could as a safety. They even had Woody Dansler there. He was playing safety that year. I think that's probably what got me off the team. I don't know. But I thought I had a really good camp, and after we had a game versus Houston. After the Houston game, I kind of saw it because they took me off of special team practice. Somebody told me when they do that, they're about to cut you. So I just I didn't know how to handle the after you get cut. I didn't. My team, I think they had broken up. My agency had broken up, and I didn't know about it. And I should have signed with a guy that was one of my teammates, his agent, because that guy knew how to get people on the team, get people tryouts and stuff like that. I should have went with him, but I didn't. The guy that had a lot less experience in that field, so. That's probably why I didn't get a second chance. Cause I thought I had some good tape. I remember when I was getting my stuff out of my locker, the trainers, everybody kind of like, why they cut you? So, and I worked my tail off. Because one thing I told y'all I would do is I would work my tail off for football, and I was not going to have a regret that I didn't handle it on my end. So I gave it my all. It probably stuck with me for a little bit longer than I should have let it. But that's what most people, who have dreams and kind of don't go their way. Nobody really teaches you how to handle that loss. So you kind of got to figure it out on your own. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
that's what I had to do. It's tough.
Yep. So, what I was gonna say is, what's the biggest lesson you learned from playing sports, having teammates, seeing other people's careers go up and down, winning, losing games? What has all that taught you in the end?
One, be accountable. Not just for what you do good, but things that you probably didn't do your best at. Hold yourself accountable. Take credit for it when you need to take credit. Whether it's good or bad. That's accountability. Hard work. Hard work. Hard work is going to get. It turns into. Eventually, it turns into luck. If you keep working hard, if anybody that's a millionaire or ended up being great at something, they started with hard work and persistence and intent and seeing, visualizing. A lot of people said they used to see themselves doing stuff, and then boom, they're doing it. When you put all those things together, there's no telling, what you could accomplish. Um, and then loving what you do, finding a way to love, or finding something that you love and make it a part of your life as much as possible. And sometimes you have to fight to keep that thing going. Football is something that you just that most people just can't snap their fingers and they'll be good at it and stay in the league. I think and stay good at it. I think maybe that's what's happening with Davion. He was so great in college. Maybe he didn't do some work in certain areas to better himself and to keep bettering himself. I don't know. Nobody. The injuries have plagued him, but when you have something that you love, you should respect it. You should, do what you need to do to keep it a part of your life. And it's no telling, like I said, what you can do or how far you can go. But having it gives you purpose. Loving what you do helps give you purpose. You know what I mean? So.
My boy's still one of the hardest workers I ever saw. My guy looked little like the Hulk, 13 years old. Andrew Marshall.
That's my childhood best friend, man. We got into so much back in the day. We met
Hey, you
5
guys make sure you like and subscribe. We on
Yes,
YouTube.
please do.
Please like and subscribe on YouTube. And we got apparel for you as well. We appreciate y'all
Let's
tuning in. Go ahead, Big Darkness. I see you got your name in Darkness on here today. Where
Actually,
you get that from?
Craig.
Who gave you that name?
Craig. So that's around that's from Dave Chappelle. Everybody know Dave
Yeah, I
Chappelle.
know that. Yeah.
The Rick James story.
Yeah.
But Craig kind of he was doing every time we see each other every night. Darkness. And then when Instagram comes out, I'm like, all right, I'm not just call myself Darkness, but spell it, how I spell it, DAWQNESS, and I'm black.
Yeah.
So I embrace this beautiful drip we call melanin. You know what I mean?
Hey,
I embrace it.
he said, laugh out loud facts. Him and his brother still look like bodybuilders. Word. Yeah, man.
That's
we appreciate you.
bro.
Yeah, man. We appreciate you coming on the show, man. Is there anybody you like to shout out before we head out? Like family members, friends, coaches, teammates?
Man. All right, so I got my brothers on here. I saw Lionel was on here. Craig. I'm wearing a BU4U fitness shirt. Savell Newton goes to do over it on the Grand. He's got a great movement over there. Help you get in shape while you're over there. Take your son or your daughter over to Carlos Spikes with Dog Work, Don't Lie. Out of the boxing gym, you get your boxing on. You can drop off your kids, get them trained, and then you go get your lift on over in the same little plaza. All those guys over there, they're doing it. Jamie Scott Fitness, shout out to them. State of the art fitness facility, one of the probably the best facility in South Carolina. State of the art. I went to a place down here in Miami. What is it called? It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, Miami's got big money down here. Um, so people spend money. Equinox, name of the place, Equinox. And I'm just looking at the program. I'm like, man, this is the same stuff Jamie's doing. So he ahead of the game up there with him. Catch this sport, my boy Aries Curry. Need your kids, get them faster, get their agilities right. Hit him up. Let's see, Steel Hands Brewery. They showed us a good time a couple of weeks ago. Alex and I believe Ashley, they looked out for us. Life insurance. I'm selling life insurance. We're doing funeral expense mostly, and we do have some other programs that we focus on funeral expense. So if anybody wants to buy a policy for their parents, knock that funeral home charge down to about $5,000 to $8,000. You can reach out to me, jrmartin39@gmail.com. That's for life insurance, final expense, funerals. Trying to get them knocked down to $8,000 or below. You can reach out to me for that. My mom, my dad, I love you guys. My family that I missed out, that I didn't shout out: Chris Kane, Trey King, Tony, Nikki, Elsie, Julie. Happy birthday, Julie. I love you.
Yes. Everybody subscribe. Subscribe on YouTube.
Everybody subscribe. My Dunlap family, Wanda, man, Steven, Steve, Uncle Steve, cousin Steve, everybody. I love y'all. Miss y'all. And thank you guys for the opportunity to come over here and tell my story. Appreciate you guys.
Man, no problem, man. We love to have you back on. As always, man. I remember playing against you in high school. Great memories, man. Tough running back. It was great times. Just like I say, man, for everybody that's been watching, man, we appreciate you guys tuning in and commenting. Like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification button. Also, stop by on Instagram. You can get your Sports Shop 27 apparel. You get you a hoodie or a tee.
Right.
And we just keeping it together for the community, man. Just making sure the kids have something motivated, inspired to keep doing. We all were teammates together at one point, so we might as well keep it going, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Keep it going, man.
Yep. Also, subscribe to us on Spotify and Deezer. Follow us on Facebook. And our motto is: it's not how you start, it's how you finish. So wear your mask, be safe, and we'll see you next episode, okay? Other than that, stay tuned. See you later. Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.